Hey guys, check me out. Yeah, that's right. A typical walk cycle uses 6 key poses and cycles through them over and over again for the duration of a walk. With a minifigure, you need to keep 4 different motions in mind: the legs, the arms, the upper body, and the entire body as it moves across the space. Now let's focus on the legs first. Through these 6 frames, you watch as one leg leads, then both feet are balancing between studs, the leading foot locks into the stud, and the back foot swings forward to take the lead and repeat the process. Now you can switch this up a bit. Some people like to have both legs completely locked into the stud for 1 frame in between each step, but some people like to put emphasis on the step forward, giving the character an aura of swagger. The legs typically control the speed of the walk. Adding that extra frame in between steps makes a walk slower, but you can also make a walk faster. Sometimes I actually don't even do frame 4, or 1. Up next is where I see people mess up the walk the most: the body and its positioning within the frame. For each frame, the position of your character's upper body needs to be ahead of where it was in the last frame. Keep an eye on the background, and ask if your character's head and upper body is covering up a new portion of the background with each picture you take. Make sure the body never suddenly goes backwards, and make sure they never stay in the same position for 2 frames in a row. This breaks the flow and the arc of the walk. Here's an example of what happens when those mistakes are made. It's just not as focused, it doesn't look as intentional, a little bit stiff, and kinda janky. You gotta make sure it's always moving forward. Now you may notice that the body and the head are doing this weird bobbing thing. Like, here he's clearly leaning forward, but then here he's clearly standing up straight. Now you have to keep this motion in mind. You want to have the character's upper body bouncing a bit with each step. This gives the illusion that your character is pushing himself forward and is using his entire body to walk. So long as the character's upper body looks like they've moved forward, positioning wise, you can animate an arc for their torso that exists as its own motion, without interfering with how the walk looks. On to the arms! The arms may not control the walk itself, but they are important because this is where most of the personality comes in. The typical normal people walk is just having both arms swing like this. Whichever foot is in the lead, the opposite arm moves with it, and then it swings back, and then forth. Just make sure you're paying attention to both arms when you're doing this. With arms though, you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can keep them still, you can have them reach forward, make them floppy. It doesn't really affect the way the actual walk looks. It's just where you can add the most style and pizzazz to it all. I usually try to have the arms stick out the most when the legs are in this crisscross position, and then I have them move back down. There's really no wrong way to do this, just as long as you keep your animation fundamentals intact, then it should look fine. That's pretty much all I have to say about walking. Hey, what about walking on flat surfaces? Sticky tack is really the only real difference, because all the same animation principles apply, all the same poses, all the same cycles. Except now, instead of balancing your characters on studs, you stick them to the ground with sticky tack. Make sure you hide it behind the legs as much as you can, because having it be visible can be kinda distracting. This is the sticky tack that I use, link in the description below. What about running? The run cycle. It's similar to the walk cycle except faster. For my runs, I follow a few rules. Keep the character leaning forward, make their arms really swing out, their legs always move forward at least 1 stud at a time. For the crisscross frame, the character steps over a stud, like this. Everything else to do with the run are essentially just leftover rules and fundamentals from just doing the walk. Also, to make them stop, I usually have their legs stand planted in one spot and have their body jerk forward a bit and then move back, just to make it look like they're trying to keep their balance. This is true for walks too, just not as drastic. That's pretty much all I got to say about walking and running. I hope this guide has helped you. And remember to always keep those upper bodies constantly moving forward. I'm serious, this is like the most important thing about walking that a lot of people seem to struggle with. So I hope this has helped. And now a word from EdBound. Fellas, I know I've been gone for a while. I was in the middle of a few things. I got a job at a TV studio doing some animation for Super Buddy Studios' new show called Ultra City Smiths, which is going to be premiering soon. That's pretty much the main thing. I have been working on an upcoming short called The Burger is Burning. I've been making steady progress, but when you have a full-time job, it can be kind of hard. But now that my contract is over, I am back here, on this channel, ready to make animations all the time again, which you can catch me doing on twitch.tv/edbound. So get ready for that, because I got some plans for this summer. And yes, Thor is on the way, as well as the rest of the MCU movies. And for the Spider-Man Noir fans, fear not, I haven't forgotten about that series. I've been writing Chapter 3 since literally November. Aside from that, thank you for your patience, and I can't wait to be back here every Monday. I mean it, I swear! Starting now! Woo! Thank you to all my Patreons for the support and for hanging out with me in the Discord these last couple months, keeping me from getting too anxious from being gone. And until next time, peace!